Hello everybody, Adventure Dave here. I hope you're all doing well. So, we're out here in the beautiful pines, away from the city, away from the hustle and bustle. Try to get you all the way from work, think about something fresh and new. I think we have a good story for you today. We're gonna call this Yahaviat, which means pine place. This adventure is going to touch on several different things. We're going to talk a little bit about the Serrano Indians. We're going to talk about the last grizzly bear. We're going to talk a little bit about the mining and the gold strike and San Bernardino and the population. I think you're really going to enjoy this one. The Serrano Indians were the first to come to Yahaviat some 2,500 years ago. The Serrano Indians, they were peaceful and gentle people. They were regarded as skilled basket weavers, and the women were expert pottery makers. Their food source is actually excellent. They were into acorn mush. Yum! That was their basic food. Pinyon nuts, berries, roots, tuber bulbs, and sage were also in their diet. Big Bear Valley was a favorite hunting and food gathering source for these people. The Serrano Indian worshipped the grizzly bear and thought of these huge animals as great-grandfathers. They were never hunted by the Serrano, their meat was never eaten, and they never wore their fur pelts. The house of the Serrano was a circular building buried in the ground about 2 feet. It was constructed from yucca tule, connected to round post with hide tongs. They had a fire pit in the center that kept them warm during the winter and in the cold evenings. And the floors were covered with weaved tule mats. In the mountains, the Serrano and the Coahuila Indians watched the presence of the white man increased, not only from the west, but also from the east, with the arrival of the blonde Yankee Buffalo Road Mountain Man. Wilson was one of the first American settlers in Southern California, a former fur trapper and Indian trader. He became a naturalized Mexican citizen and then began his extensive land holdings with the purchase of Rancho Jurupa, now Riverside, California. In the year 1845, Wilson's ranch was raided by renegade Indians. And I touched on this in our last story of Peg Leg. Peg Leg and the renegade Indian chief, Wakara. And I'm not making this up. Wakara had stole 300 head of cattle from Wilson and headed up into the mountains. He was getting them cattle over to the desert, Anza Borrego, through Anza Borrego and on into the desert of Arizona. Well, Wilson sent out about 24 vaqueros in a posse to hunt Wakara down. They never found Wakara, but they went up through the Santa Ana Canyon and they discovered a beautiful forest with Indian settlements and plentiful grizzly bear, and they ended up calling that Bear Valley. So in all reality, Wakara, the Indian thief, is how we discovered that whole valley. The sad part about this whole thing is they never continued forward to catch Wakara. They let him go. When they found all them grizzly bears in plentiful, they came back with 11 pelts. This mountain range was actually populated by more grizzly bears at one time than anywhere in the United States. So now we're going to move on and we're going to head up into some interesting places. We're going to go up into Holcomb Valley. We're going to go into Big Bear. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of different things. We're going to go to the Eye of God and learn a little more history about the Serrano Indians. And I really look forward to sharing this journey with you. So y'all might find this a little boring, walking around, not hearing nothing. I promise I'm not going to find any tin cans to pick up and tell you what year they were from. But I just want you to see this beautiful Enchanted Forest. It's just so peaceful and quiet. And you get out by yourself, go find yourself. In the future, I spent some time off the grid. I'm going to really like to tell you guys some stories about that. Little baby Christmas tree. Beautiful mountain line out there in the distance. Wow, look at the cavity of that tree right there. That's pretty cool. Bet you got a coon up in there somewhere. These blue jay, they're kind of, they're interesting. They're beautiful. They won't let you get very close to get a good picture of them. But they just bounce around on the ground here. Matter of fact, we had a bird come in the house and it was like a running bird. Ran all around on the ground. Went up to the window, bounced around a little bit, but mostly he was running around on the ground. And I was in my office working and I hear this noise in the bedroom next door. And I opened the door. Well, I didn't even open the door was open. So I look in there and I see the bird perching up on the, what do you call it, above the bed. We got one of those frames. And he was pooping all over the nice bedspread down there. But I tried to whoosh him out and came up with an idea, actually. So what I did is I ran downstairs and grabbed a trout fishing net. And then went back up in the room. He was still there. But he kept running underneath the bed, so I had to figure something out. Instead of flying around and hitting the wall, which was cool, because I think he figured he got his brains knocked a couple times in this whole fiasco. But to find out, he was a little escape artist. A little dirty dog he was. So I closed the door, ran down, got that net, ran back up. And then I set the net down. And I forgot what I was going to grab in the office. But I went in there and took the screen off and everything, and realized I had left that. Actually, let me back up. It's the wrong story. Well, anyway, it's kind of right. But when it had happened is I was going to try to catch him with the net, and he started, hysterical. He's getting under the bed. I was tapping on the bottom of the bed with the net handle, and he kept running over to the window. So, boom, light went off. Put the net down, went in the office. I had to go grab a knife so I can get the screen out of the window. So I had this great idea. So I closed the door, went back in, opened the screen, did all this work, got the window open. He was gone. He just disappeared. I have no idea where he went. Ran around the house. But last night, when I went to bed, I was hearing weird things. Susie wasn't home, my sweetheart. She didn't get in till late. She was out with the girls, doing the girl thing. And I'm out here doing the guy thing. But I'm doing it by myself, which is cool. It's relaxing. But, I looked all over for that guy. Couldn't find him. But I heard him last night, so I still think he's in there. Maybe Susie will come across that guy and get him out of the house, which would be pretty cool. Because I feel sorry for him. He needs to be out here, jumping from tree to tree, like these blue jays are. Huh. I hope you enjoyed that little story. There's another beautiful little plant. You know, this is a pretty easy hike up here. It's about 1.5 miles. It's all uphill on the way, but it's nice strolling down. I feel like an electric bike now. Partially pedaling, letting the hill help me down. Yeah. I thought about getting one of them bikes, but you know what? I think this is better exercise. I really do. And I'd rather slow down and share my adventures with you. So I'm gonna give you one more view of all these beautiful pines here, and that little peak right up there that's getting blocked. If you could see, the blue jays are flying all over the place here. Yeah. Well, folks, here we are, the Serrano Indians. In the background, you'll see the Eye of God. Desecrated, but marvelous. We're gonna take a hike down in there and we'll give you some detailed views of that. And join me for the ride. Forgive me, I may be a little out of breath. It's been an uphill hike up here. We made it to the sacred land formation called the Eye of God. It is a giant snow quartz megalith that once projected possibly dozens of feet above the hillside above Baldwin Lake near Big Bear. In a cowering blow of desperate and deluded gringo gold miners endeavored to detonate the Eye of Gold in search of precious minerals, exploding the mountain into quartz into a small rock face that is today. The Eye of God is still an impressive sight. It is located near an ecological preserve. We attempted to fly our drone here since the area is a significant spot for a wintering site for the bald eagles. So we would have really liked to give you a shot up above and roll around it. That would have been cool. But we're gonna walk around this and give you a little tour of it. It's just beautiful. But you could see how it was a dome at one time. And if you look around here, you can see all the blast fragments everywhere. From the gringos who are desperate for gold. There's some huge fragments over here. I mean, I've never seen quartz this big in my life. We're gonna walk up these stairs, take a look at this. How beautiful. Look what we found up here. Very nice. In my research, what I have found out is people will bring their crystal collections up here to re-energize them, which is very interesting. And as you see out there in the distance is Baldwin Lake, which Baldwin Lake, it was a very distinctive place for the Serrano Indians to live and thrive and do their family life out there. Walking along this quartzite figure, there's still evidence of the blasting here. This looks like a partial hole from a dynamite drill. Really, it's very upsetting. Well, folks, we're here in Big Bear at the Big Bear Museum, and I've got a big surprise here. Look at this great group of wonderful people here. And we've been invited by Johnny. Say hi, Johnny. She's going to allow us to go into the museum and look at the Serrano Indian display they have here. And I'm just so excited about this. And I can't wait to get in here and share this with you. There's a lot of gold mining history. There's a lot of history in here, but I'm going to save some of that gold mining stuff for another adventure with Dave. There's a lot of history. Look at all these old Johnsons. Let's get back on track. Okay, so this is an interesting one here we're going to talk about, because we're going to head into Holcomb. And this looks like it is a dedicated display for William Holcomb. An old Hawken. I'll bet you that's the one he was carrying when he was hunting the bear, which we're going to touch on that story, so I won't get into that right now. We made it to the Serrano Indian display. Absolutely beautiful. I would say those are the yucca mats. And in our introduction, we talked about the mats and the beautiful baskets that they weaved.
Yeah.
I'm standing here with Johnny.
Hi.
And she's telling me a lot more history of the Serrano Indians. So she's gonna direct us down into San Bernardino. But everybody, I want you to meet Johnny. Are you the director here?
I'm the curator.
She is the curator, and she is the lady who has been so nice to let me in here and take these pictures of this beautiful place.
Right behind me is the Serrano Village that we are refurbishing right now. It's been...
This is it right here. I was just going to ask you about that, actually.
We have a granary. This is the kitsch, which is that it was covered with like reeds and grasses, willows, and that was their shelter. Of course, it didn't have rebar.
In my introduction, I talked about the twigs and the yucca and the skin tongs that they used to tie it all together with. That was in my introduction.
It's gorgeous, but with the snow and the winters, you know, it's a temporary structure that we wanted to last forever, but it didn't.
And one of the interesting things I saw is that they used to set them into the ground about 2 feet.
Because it would give them.
And then they built the fire pit in the middle.
And there would be a little hole at the top for the smoke to go out.
For the smoke to go out.
Like a teepee.
Well, again, for everybody out there in Adventureland, I want to tell you, you need to come here and you need to do the tour of this beautiful place. And I spoke with Johnny on the phone the other day, and she is absolutely the nicest person I've spoke with in years. So come and see her.
Come and see me.
Make sure you leave your donation at the front, and you'll enjoy yourself. Thank you. We are in Holcomb Valley. This has been a great journey and a wonderful adventure. We've looked at a lot of different places. We've been to the Eye of God. We've been to the museum. We're out here now in Holcomb Valley. So a little bit of history about Holcomb Valley is this is where William Holcomb came in, and he was hunting for grizzly bear. Some of the last grizzly bear. Oh, and by the way, boy, the grizzly bear thing was really tough. We went to the zoo, couldn't get in the zoo, couldn't show you a grizzly bear. We did all that. But as he was hunting for the grizzly bear, he went through a canyon, and that's when he saw the gold. And then that's when the people came and took over the valley. And at one point, Bactero took all the Serrano Indians down to San Bernardino to a safe haven and escaped them from massacre. But I'd like to show you this valley and get a good perspective. If you look way in the back there, I'll try to zoom in for you, is the pinnacles. You see that pinnacle right in the center of your screen? Right below that pinnacle is supposedly where the last grizzly bear in 1906 was shot and sacrificed for his pelt. I hope you enjoyed this journey, and we hope to see you on the next one. So folks, I hope you're enjoying Dave's adventures. It really brings joy to me to bring you out here, see all these different things. I said from the beginning, I would much rather be doing this than sitting on the couch. So hopefully you'll keep tuning into my YouTube channel. Yes, there is improvement. Yes, I will gain more experience. I just want to bring joy to all of you and enjoy the sights and things that I see for a long time to come.